But yes, so it's a lovely day here, and my husband got up at the crack of dawn and went off skiing today. So I'm enjoying a nice, peaceful, quiet day. Just me and my dog Tally. So we got out and went for a little walk this morning, and now she's sleeping. She's sleeping over there on her bed. So we'll see if there's any snoring action going on later. But anyway, let's talk about what we've got going on today. So we just have a little bit left of Sale-A-Bration. Normally, with Stampin' Up, it always used to go for 3 months. It used to be January, February, March. But what they're doing now is it's going to be 2 months now, and then another 2 months in July and August, which is very exciting. Is that right? July and August? Or June and July? July and August months. It might be... Anyway, it's whenever the next mini catalogue comes out. I think it's July. So July and August, there'll be another Sale-A-Bration, so that's exciting. And but anyway, let me switch you down to my desk, and I'll show you what we've got going on today. So okay, so I'm going to focus just this week and next on Sale-A-Bration items still, and then I've got some fun things lined up for you in March. I'm going to work. It's going to be all techniques during March, so I'm excited about that. Maybe some fun with inks and water and sticky stuff, and so that'll be fun. But today I'm going to be, hi Kristen, today I'm going to be using this stamp set, A Touch of Ink, which is one of the Sale-A-Bration items. Now this is what they call level 2 item, so you need to place $100 of orders from any of the catalogs to get this one free. But it's an awesome set. The first thing I will say is that, well actually let me back up, let me show it to you in the Sale-A-Bration brochure. Here it is. And there's some lovely samples to get you started for inspiration. But one thing I want to say to start out is the images look small on the front, but there's lots of stamps in here, and they're big compared to the picture. So you get 2 sheets of these, so you can see, if you look at the bird, for example, here, let's see, where is it? There, you can see it's much bigger. Hi, Christine. I have to say Christine because there's another Chris on here. So Kristen says she loves the notebook. Yes, yeah, I'll talk a little bit more about the samples in a minute, but I wanted to show you that the images are really big. And what and I love this set because it is a two-step stamp set. Vicky says it's her favorite of the Sale-A-Bration. Yes, I can't believe I've not used it yet, but I was really enjoying using it when I was preparing for today. So it's a 2-step stamp set, but it's a perfect set for beginners and more advanced stampers alike, because the layering is kind of artsy layering. You'll see what I mean. It doesn't layer exactly over that outline image, but you can do, if you don't want to use the second image, the one that fills in, you could do, you know, watercoloring or water painting, or you could emboss these images and then fill them in. There's like lots of different things you could do with them. So so what I did, Stampin' Up provides us with all these amazing, you know, images in our catalogs, and sometimes if I'm not quite sure where to start with the stamp set, if I'm feeling overwhelmed or lacking for inspiration, I'll make some of the cards in the catalogue, and we call that casing the catty, and case stands for copy and share everything. So what I did is I cased this card, so let me show you. Here it is. So I think I did a pretty good job, don't you? Look at this. And what I thought we would do today is do a very similar card using the same color palette. Let's see if I can. But with the hummingbird and the flowers. So let me grab I was going to tell you something else about this. Oh, I know what. Let's first of all do our giveaway. Before I get into the card making, let's do our giveaway. Do you remember? That's right, because I was thinking about our donkey cards. Do you remember our donkey cards from last week? I got lots of comments on these. They turned out so cute. I love our darling donkeys. So the winner from last week, Facebook's Live, is getting these 3 cards. I made 5 and I picked 3, one of each donkey to send. So our winner from last week is Elaine Hicks. So Elaine, if you're watching, or if you watch this later, send me your address, and I'm going to put a note on my Facebook page because I've got lots of unretrieved hi Denise, I've got lots of unretrieved prizes, so I need to remind people to send me their addresses so I can get them their prizes. So the giveaway for this week is a pack of lovely designer series paper. This is retired, this paper, but it's really beautiful and you get lots. So this one, I forget the names of them. This one has kind of fun art images and lots of fun stuff on the back. This one is kind of watercolory. So anyway, this pack, lots of lovely paper, is going to this week's winner. So be sure to like and comment and share this with your friends. Quite a few people shared last week's video, so that was awesome. Thank you for those of you that did that. So that's the giveaway. Back to the card. So let me show you what I used and what we're going to do with this one. So the embossing folder that I used on here, if you can see this okay, there's a pair of embossing folders and they're called Greenery. You get 2 of them. Now in the sample in the catalogue they used this one, and I'm going to use this one on the next card, but I actually used this one, which is really pretty, on this card here. Hopefully you can see that. So like I say, I'm going to stick to the same color palette, but I'm going to switch things up a little bit. So let me put this to one side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use Pear Pizzazz. So the colors are on this are Pretty Peacock, Rococo Rose, Pear Pizzazz, and Pool Party, and then the sentiment is Night of Navy. So I'm going to use Pear Pizzazz for the, thank you Denise, she says she just shared it, my video. So I'm going to use Pear Pizzazz, and I already ran this through my Big Shot, because, not my Big Shot, my Stampin Cut and Emboss, or whatever that machine's called. The old one was the Big Shot. I already ran it through because I needed my big machine, and it wouldn't fit through my little one. Now these will fit through the little one if you put it in long ways, but I needed to put it through this way in my machine. So what I did is I just lined it out like this and then put it through. So I did that already ahead of time. Hope that makes sense what I just said. So that's already done, and this is my panel for the front, which is basic white. I'll put the dimensions on afterwards, but this is just a regular card base, so it's 8.5 by 4 1/4, and folded in half. And then this piece is 2.5 by 5. And then I do need to do a little bit of die cutting, so I've got my baby Boss Baby, and I made sure that they would fit in this time. Remember last week my piece was too big. So I'm going to cut out my 2 squares for the front, and I'm going to do these in Pretty Peacock. Let's see if I can turn this around a bit. Let's see, so that you can see. So let me grab my plates. So I need plates 1, and it tells me here that this is for use with thin dies, so I need 1, and then it tells me that I need 2 of my plate number 2s. So let me get this ready. I think I should be able to run these both through at once. So I'll put now I'm using the layering squares. I've got a plain one and I've got a scalloped one. So the layering squares, as this set, you get a whole bunch of squares. And so this one was, I think, the second largest of or maybe the third largest of the scallops. And then this square was let's see, again, I think it's the third largest of the plain squares. So that's what I'm using. So let's get those there. And then I'm gonna have to move, there we go. There we go. We're off. That one's all right. I was excited to get this little one so I could use it in my Facebook Lives, but it's still a little bit tricky sometimes with my phone's right above me and I didn't want to hit that. So here's my little scalloped layer, and here's my white one, so that's good. And then we'll do some stamping. So let me see, I'm going to bring in my little pad. Now remember, you need to use a little bit of a pad. So yes, because they're photopolymer stamps, remember you want to use a little bit of padding underneath so you get a good image. So I'm going to do the hummingbird. I'm going to put him on a block. And I'm going to do the hummingbird in Pretty Peacock. Let's see if it'll fit on. So I've got my inks all ready to go here. So I'm going to use Rococo Rose for the flowers, and I'm going to use Pretty Peacock for the hummingbird. I nearly said peacock, but I mean hummingbird. So I get this ready. And then I'm getting ready another scrap of paper, because what I'm going to do is, for my stamp where I fill in the peacock, I'm going to stamp off one time because it's a bit dark otherwise. So let me get that image ready too. So that's this one right here. So we'll put him on a block also. So now this is, let's see, do I have the right size here? It seems like this is, where's my other card? It seems like this is smaller. Oh no, it is the same. Isn't that deceiving? It looked like it was smaller, but it is the same. All right, so the peacock, I keep calling, I'm gonna call him a peacock now because I'm using Pretty Peacock. And there's a peacock in our neighborhood that I saw this morning. I think somebody is feeding it. I think the house where it hangs out, they're feeding it, although they're not really supposed to. But yeah, he kind of hangs out with the wild turkeys. But this is the hummingbird. So, and it's not going to quite fit, but it's going to overhang just a little bit. So let's see, I'm going to position it. I'm going to make sure it's inked up from kind of so. It's like this. And then I'm going to do let me see, I'm going to do that. See if I can get a bit more on. Oh, I guess that's good. Now for the piece that fills in, and these are kind of distinctive, so that I don't know if you can see on the stamp, but you get kind of shading in there too. Now, if I were to stamp this right onto here, it'd be rather dark. So I'm going to, let me see if I can zoom in just a little bit so you can see more. There we go. I'm going to stamp off on this piece of paper once. You see how dark that is? And then I'm going to stamp. Now this doesn't line up properly, which is great for Facebook Lives. It's kind of artsy. So I'll just see how nice that is. All right, that's the hummingbird. Got it right this time. Hummingbird done. I'm going to do the flowers. So actually, let me, it's my chamois. I have a chamois somewhere. Oh, and I need to do the little dots on the card also, on the peacock. I'll show you what I mean. On here, I didn't realize I did splatters with paint, but then with the ink, but then I realized there's actually a little stamp in here that's little dots. It's this one right here. So I'm just going to do a few little dots. Open back up. And again, I think I'll stamp off so it's not too dark. I'll do some up here and down here. There. Right, now I need my other piece of white paper, white cardstock. So we'll set Mr. Hummingbird aside, and I'm going to grab my flower, put the hummingbird back. I love hummingbirds. Yes, my sister's saying she likes to watch the hummingbirds when she stays. We have a, I think it's called a lantana bush outside our downstairs bedroom window, and the hummingbirds has these pretty red flowers, and I think hummingbirds are drawn to reds, aren't they? It seems like. And the lantanas love to, the hummingbirds love to come and feed from the, okay, so I've got the outline. Let me think what I'm doing here. So this is the image for the flower. Yeah, and my dad used to live with us, and he had that bedroom, but unfortunately he was blind, and I would go in and be chatting with him, and I'd see the hummingbirds outside his window, and I'd say, Dad, there are hummingbirds outside, and I always felt sad that he couldn't see them. So anyway, here's, I'm going to do the flower now. So I'm doing this part here. So it's a little bit smaller than the leaf image, so I think I'm going to stamp it about 3 times. So I'm going to do it just off the top here, just a little bit. And then again, they're going the other direction, like this, and then one more. I think I'll do that again, another direction, going off just a bit, like this. Okay, and now here's the this is the one that the image that fills it in. Now on one of the cards in the brochure, they used this as to make a kind of a background. They did, I'll show it to you in a minute. They used this one and they did the little dots kind of in the middle like that, and kind of just did it all over and made a background. I'll show it to you afterwards, but I'm going to actually use it on the flowers. So like I say, it's a very versatile stamp set. So now this one, I've got to figure out how this one goes. I think it's like that. And again, it doesn't match up, but it just kind of gives an artsy look. So I like artsy looks because it doesn't have to be very precise. They don't have to be very precise. Let's see here. Oh, I didn't stamp that one off. But actually it looks okay. I don't know though. I might have to start over. All right, let me do this again real quick, because I forgot to stamp off. All right, I'll try and do this quick. 1, 2, oops. It's a good job there's 2 sides to every piece of, Christine says she likes it darker. I didn't mind it, but I wanted them to be a bit more consistent, as I had one already lighter. All right, so don't let me forget this time, okay? Stamp off, because I'm talking, can't do 2 things at once. Okay, so there's 1. Stamp off. Learning terms. Yes, we used to call it, stamping off is definitely a term that we use. We used to call it second generation stamping, where you stamp off and then, but I like stamp off better. And you can stamp off more than once if you like, if you want a really pale image. So there we go. Okay, success. All right, and I think I'll come back and do the sentiment in a minute, because if I stamp it now, I might lose it between now and assembling the card. So, you know me, it happens. All right, so let's bring back in our pieces. So let me get my bone folder and fold this a little bit better. Hi, Deb. Okay, so I'm going to attach this, my little hummingbird. Into here. So I like the idea of just kind of using the same palette, but, you know, just switching around the colors of the images, because it makes a whole new look to the card, but you don't have to get out too many more supplies and you don't have to think too much. So I'm going to put this on flat. Am I going to put it on with dimensionals? I think I'll put it on with dimensionals. Trying to look at the last one to see what I did. 2, 3, 4, and we'll just do one more in the middle. I would probably ordinarily use maybe a couple more, but just for the sake of time. Yeah, we have a hummingbird feeder too. I'm not sure if we have anything in it right now. I'll have to go check after this. All right, so this one's going to line up on here. Like that. And then this one's going to go on the top. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put dimensionals on this one, but I'm only going to put them on this side because this side is popped up already. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put dimensionals on here like that. And then I'm going to put a little bit of liquid glue on the other side. Grab that. And actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to put glue here, and then I'm actually going to put a little bit on each dimensional, because then if I don't have it straight, and you know me, I'm not very good at getting things straight on camera, I can kind of wiggle it around a little bit. So let's set this, so see, I can move it around and then push down. I think that's straight, yeah. All right, so this is a pretty quick card, right? All right, so what do I next now? Oh, I need to do my twine. Okay, so on this one, I tied a little bow underneath. For this one I used this twine combo. This is actually part of the Snail suite in the mini catalogue. It's called Snail Mail Twine Combo. You get, I think this is Petal Pink or Blushing Bride and white. But I'm using this other twine combo that's also in the mini catalogue. It's part of the Well Suited suite, and it has, you can see I'm almost out of this one, it has basic grey and night of navy. So I'm going to do a darker, so I didn't have Pretty Peacock. You could actually dye the white to match the Pretty Peacock, but the sentiment is going to be night of navy, so I figured this would be all right. Okay, let's see if I can do bow. Here we go. I want to keep the loops fairly long because I want them kind of to hang down underneath. Get my scissors. And then I'm going to attach that with a glue dot. And then I'll just do the sentiment. put this on about, let's look at this one. So I put it on about here. And just put this on right like this. And then I can trim off the ends, kind of adjust it once I have the sentiment on. Okay, let me do the sentiment. So let's see, I did, thank you so much on this one. So I think I'll do, let's look at the sizes. I think I'll do best wishes. Yeah, let's try that. That could be just about for any occasion, couldn't it, really? Let's put this on a block. Let me see, I have some little strips, I think. Yes. All right, so this is, I have a little pool party strip that I cut already. This is 3/4 of an inch wide. And then I'll probably need to trim it just a little bit. So, and I'm going to use Night of Navy ink on here. You could do the Pretty Peacock also, but the Night of Navy then will match my Twine. So let's, best wishes. So I can get it straight. Oh, I like that font. Isn't that pretty? So you know, usually when you look at the images in the brochure, you can pretty much figure out what they used, what Stampin' Up used. But but sometimes you're not sure what dyes, or you know where the dye came from. Or I'm just doing little kind of banner end here. We do have a punch that does this, but I think my strip is too short to fit into the punch, so I'm just going to do it by hand. But yeah, you can usually figure out some of what they've used, but one perk of being a demonstrator is that Stampin' Up provides us with recipes, a file that has a picture of every card image in the catalogue, and then something called a recipe, and it lists everything that was used, and sometimes it has the techniques instructions too, so it's really great. I was able to go and look and see exactly what colors they used and everything, so that is really handy. All right, so let me bring back my card, and I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals on here, and then I think I'll put glue on the one that's going to go over the twine too, because sometimes it doesn't, the dimensionals don't stick that well to the twine. And I can make sure that it's not going to come off. In fact, I'll put glue on both of them, and that way I can move it around if I need to. Right, so let's put this about right. Don't want to cover up the hummingbird too much. Down a bit lower. There we go. Just hold that for a second while the glue. It's kind of sticking up that side. See if I can put another dimensional. See if I've got a mini one. I can put. See if I can do this. I'm going to see if I can put a mini one. I'm going to take the backing off it with my scissors. See if I can, oops, where did it go? Oh, it's on my thumb. Well, yeah, that'll work. There, that's better. So now I can kind of tweak these just a little bit, cut them off a bit shorter. Let's do one kind of longer than the other. There we go. All right, now the only other thing to add, of course, is some sequins. I don't know if you saw I had pretty sequins on here. And the sequins I used were from the whale suite. Also, actually, this is in the annual catalogue, and the sequins are really pretty. They're just the right colors, and of course it told me this in the recipe. So I don't know if you can see, they're really pretty pinks and blues. Now the pink ones, I'm going to put a few on the lid. The pink ones are actually shells, so I didn't end up using those. I don't know if you can see, but the pink ones are little shells. So I didn't end up using those, I just used the blue ones, which was fine. So let's put some, and what I like to do is just put a few little dots of glue, kind of where I think I'm going to put them. So I'm going to put a couple down here, and I might use a few more than my traditional 3. So let's see, and I'm going to use the Take Your Pick tool, has kind of this kind of rubbery putty stuff on the end, so I'm going to use that. And let's see, I'm going to put a few more in here because I want some of those big blue ones. Let's do a big blue one. It's upside down. Let's see, it's upside down. There we go. We'll do that one, and then maybe these small blue ones. Get on there. There we go. And then let's do one up here like I did on the, and we'll do like a couple more around here. And we'll do a couple up here too. Really going to town today. Never have too many sequins, right? So let's do one of these. Whoops, that's a fan, a shell. They actually look a bit like fans too. I guess you could put one on and pretend it's a fan. Let's do one of these little. Deborah says she just purchased the Take Your Pick tool. Yes, very handy. Let's see, more up there. Oops. And then let's do one more little one on here. Could use glue dots for the big ones too. Right, so let's put the rest of these back in here so I don't spill them. So I like that. I like how that turned out. So there's our 2. So you get quite a different look, but I thought the hummingbird went well with the flowers. So I've used exactly the same colors, but I didn't use, let's see, I didn't use Pear Pizzazz ink. But let's look back in the, so yeah, here's the one in the catalogue that I cased. And then this one here, they've used the outline to the leaves, and then they've stamped the leaves and the flowers on coloured cardstock and then cut them out. Fussy cut, we call them. This is the one that Kristen said she liked. And this one, it looks like they've maybe watercolored it. They've got the paintbrush, our water painter there. So it looks like they've watercolored it and not used the second stamp. And this one looks like it's watercolored. I think this one said it was, they used in our recipe, in the recipe file, I think it said they used the watercolor pencils for this one. So that's pretty, another thing you could do. And this is the one, I don't know if you can see, it's very pale, but that's the one where they made the background using the solid image from the flower. So like I say, a really versatile stamp set, and If you purchased, if you purchased maybe some of the cardstocks and the inks and the square dies, of course you could use any dies you wanted here. If you didn't have the squares, you could use ovals or circles, or you could just cut squares, cut 2 layers of squares also. But anyway, so once your order gets to $100, then you can get this free. So just one more week of Sale-A-Bration. Next week I'm going to use one of the other designer series papers that I haven't used yet. And that'll be our finish to Sale-A-Bration. And then I'm going to focus on techniques in March, so that'll be fun. So let me come back here. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that and it gave you some inspiration and ideas. And I'm going to go check my hummingbird feeder now and see if it needs filling up. So anyway, thank you all so much for tuning in today. I really appreciate you tuning in every week. It's great to see you all. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget to go to my store and purchase all these wonderful goodies. And I'll see you next week. Same place, same time, same place. Bye for now. Have a great day.